Welcome students, welcome to the Accountancy Point where we study the various accounting concepts for class 11 and 12. Today I am here with my third video for class 11 on the topic Basic Accounting Terms Part 2. In the previous video, video number 2, which was on the topic Basic Accounting Terms Part 2, Basic Accounting Part 1, I had discussed about the few concepts, few topics, few terms. Today we'll continue with the rest of the terms. In the first video, if you have not gone through, the link is shared in the description column. You can go through the video link and can watch the video for a better concept in order to understand those concepts which I discussed in my first video. Today I am going to start with point number 8 because 7 terms, accounting terms have been already discussed with you all. This is the term number 8 where we are going to discuss about the liabilities. Children, first of all let us understand what liabilities are. Liabilities means something which you have to pay to someone. So when anything which business owe, that means the business will have to pay to others in future, that is known as liabilities. Remember, liability is something which you will pay in future. Okay, this can be the very next day, it can be after a month, it can be after a year, it can be after 5 years, it can be after 10 years, but it will be payable in future. Liabilities, children, we can find out liabilities of any business by the formula assets minus capital. When we deduct capital from the assets, the remaining amount will be considered as the liabilities of the business. Children, liabilities are classified into two types. One is called the internal liabilities. Now let us understand what internal liabilities are. Internal liabilities are those liabilities which are payable to the owner of the business. Once again, payable to the owner of the business. That is why it is also known as owner's equity, which you will pay. The total amount which the businessman has invested in the business, that which you will pay. Obviously, the capital of the owner will be paid at the time when the firm will get dissolved or the business will come to an end. So at that point of time, whatever money will be payable to him will be considered as the internal liability. Second one are the external liabilities. Now, let us talk about external liabilities. Children, external liabilities, when we say liability, we actually mean about the external liability. We don't mean about the internal liabilities, because the internal liability is known by the name owner's equity or capital. Okay, so when we say about liabilities, we actually mean to say about the external liabilities. So the external liabilities means all the money which the business owe to outsiders. The total amount which the business will have to pay in future to the outsiders will be considered as your external liabilities, which are further subdivided into current liabilities. Now, children, let us understand what current liabilities are. Current liabilities are those liabilities which are payable within 1 year or 12 months or within one operating cycle. Okay, so within this period of time, within 1 year or within one operating cycle, the amount which will be payable will be considered as current liabilities. Now, what will you pay within 1 year? you will have to pay to your suppliers, your creditors, your bills payable, the any amount which you owe to the government in the form of tax. So a provident fund for your employees. So all these will be considered as your current liabilities because you have to pay within 1 year. For example, bills payable. For example, creditors. For example, outstanding expenses, etc. The second type of liabilities are called non-current liabilities, or they are also called long-term liabilities. Okay, so what are these? Non-current liabilities or long-term liabilities are the liabilities which will be payable after a year or 12 months. So the amount which you will pay in future after 1 year will be considered as your non-current liabilities, like the loan which you have taken from the bank, the debentures which you have issued, the any other type of amount which you have raised or which you are payable, which you will pay in future after 1 year, will be considered as your non-current liabilities. It mostly consists of bank loan, loan from financial institutions, debentures. But children, remember, there is hardly any difference between, there is a very slight line of difference between current liabilities and non-current liabilities. If there is any liability which is non-current, how can we recognize? Because they will be payable after 1 year. If the same has to be paid within 1 year, then the same non-current liability will be considered as current liabilities. So you have to understand the difference on the basis of the period during which they will be payable. The third type of liability is known as contingent liabilities. Children, contingent liabilities are the liabilities which may or may not occur in future. They are not certain liabilities. You may have to pay or you may not have to pay. The payment depends upon the happening of a certain event. If that will happen, you may have to pay. If that does not happen, you may not have to pay. We can take an example. Suppose there is a case filed against the firm, against your business, and the decision has not yet come. So if you are defeated, if the decision is against you or against your firm, you will have to pay the money. If the decision is in your favor, you will not have to pay. So such a type of liability which may or may not be payable in future is considered as contingent liability. The other type of example can be said as bills of exchange which have been discounted but have not yet matured. So they are also considered as contingent liabilities. Children, this was all about liabilities. Now we will discuss about the next point, which is called goods traded in. Now, children, first of all, you have to understand what are goods. Let me tell you, goods are those things in which you deal in. Whatever you do the business in is your goods. Okay? For example, if I have a furniture shop, so the furniture which I have been purchasing and selling is my goods. If I have a showroom of a car, so car which I have purchased in order to sell or resale is known as the goods. So goods traded in actually means all the things those which you purchase for resale purpose, they are all referred as your goods traded in, or they are referred as the goods. The next term based on the goods are the purchases. Before I move ahead with the purchases, let me tell you what is the nature of goods. Children, goods are your assets. They are your current assets. Okay? So you can, instead of this is current liabilities. In the previous class, if you remember, we had discussed about the stock. We had discussed about the raw materials. So they are considered as your current assets. So goods are also your assets. What? The goods which you could not sell, they are your assets. They will be considered as your assets. But the goods which you have purchased, what do you mean by purchase of goods? Purchase of goods means buying the goods in which you deal in. That means whatever things you deal in, or for whatever purpose you do your business, that is when you buy those things, it will be considered as your purchases. I would just give an example in order to clear the concept. Suppose I have a furniture shop. So I have purchased furniture in order to sell them once again. So they will be called my goods. But let's suppose you went to a furniture shop and you said to the owner, the chair on which you are sitting, give me that, I want to buy that. Will he give you? No. Why? Because that is his assets. He is using it for the purpose of the business. He is not using it for the business, means for reselling purpose. Although chair is a furniture and he is dealing in furniture, but the chair which you talked about is not meant for resale. So that cannot be considered as a purchase, or that cannot be considered as goods. They are his assets. Goods purchase means buying only those goods in which the businessman deals in. Similarly, there is sales. What do you mean by sales? Sales means selling the goods. Goods means the product in which you deal in. So when you sell those products, it is considered as sales in business. We will now take another term like purchase return. What is purchase return? Purchase return means, children, the goods which you had purchased for reselling purpose, but those goods were not up to your expectations. So you would return it to the supplier. So that is known as purchase return. Similarly, there is a term called sales returns. So what is sales returns? Sales returns means when you have sold goods to someone else and they find that those goods are not up to their expectations, or they had ordered something else and you have supplied something else. So in that case, he would return the goods to you. So those goods will be called sales return. The next thing which we are going to discuss is the stock. Before I explain about the stock, let me tell you about the nature of purchases and sales. Children, purchase is something which you frequently do. What do you mean by purchases? Purchases means buying goods in which you deal in. So the goods in which you deal in, you will be obviously frequently buying it from others. So they will be considered as your expense because you do it on a regular basis in the day-to-day activities of the business. So purchases is an expense. Sales, by selling goods you earn income. So sales is your income. It's a revenue for your business. And but when we say stock, so let us understand first of all what stock is. Stock means unsold goods. The goods in which you deal in, if they remain unsold at a particular date. For example, I am doing business and on 4th June 2020, I want to know how much goods have not yet been sold. So the goods which have not yet been sold on this particular date till suppose 9 a.m. early in the morning, so that will be called my stock. And remember, stock is something which I can sell in future and I can earn income. So something which will help you in earning income in future will be considered as your assets. So stock is an asset. The stock are of various types. Stock may be of raw materials. What do you mean by raw materials? Raw materials are those products or those things which you will use for further production. For example, if you have a paper mill, or if you are a publisher, the paper which you will take in order to publish the book will be considered as your raw material. So stock of raw material means the goods which remained unsold. They are those part of your material which you had purchased but you could not use it yet. They are still lying with you. So they will be considered as the stock of raw materials. Another is semi-finished products or semi-finished goods. They are those goods which have been put in the process of production, but the final product is not yet completed. You have not got the final result. For example, suppose you are making copies, notebooks, and papers have been put inside the machine and copies have been made, but they are yet to resize because they have to be cut in a particular size. Okay, they have to be bundled in a cover. So that cover is not yet put. The size has not yet been made. The ruling lines have not yet been printed. So they will be called your papers are ready, notebooks are ready, but all these things are yet to be done. So they will be your semi-finished products. And the last one is the finished products. So finished products or goods are those goods which have been produced and they are ready to be sold, but they have not yet been sold in the market. So those products will be considered as the stock of finished products. The next topic, the next point, the next term which we are going to discuss are the expenses. Children, this is a very common word which we use in our life, but the meaning in accountancy is quite different. Expenses in accounting or accountancy means the amount which you spend in order to avail the services, or which you pay because you have utilized the product or a particular service. Very simple example before I say anything about expenses, I will say, or otherwise I can just write this is the amount spent to purchase and sell goods and services. So everything which you do in order to purchase and even in order to sell, we have to make certain payment. So all those will be considered as your expense. Before I move ahead with another term, let me give you an example. Suppose today is, let's suppose from 1st June 2020 till 30th June 2020. This is the period for which, this is 1 month. So for this 1 month, there is an employee, Mr. X. He has been working in my business. So he has worked throughout the month. Now he has come on 30th June. So from 1st June till 30th June, he has worked in my business organization. Now on 30th June, he came to me and asked that I have provided my service, now pay some remuneration to me. So what would you pay? You would pay him cash. But that cash is what? It's a remuneration. It is in the form of a salary or the wages. So that salary or wages, why are you paying him? Because he has already worked for a month. You have already availed the services. You have also the amount which you will use it over here, the payment which you will make is the expense. So that is what I have written, that the amount spent to purchase and sell goods and services. He has provided you the service. Now you are paying him the remuneration for buying those services. Similarly, the raw materials which you buy is also an expense. You pay wages, that is your expense. You pay commission, that is your expense. you pay rent, that is your expense. In all these, if you see, you will pay wages, you will pay commission, you will pay rent, after you have availed the services. But if you pay before availing the service, it will be considered as your asset. For example, you suppose Mr. X, before he worked, he came to you and said, sir, I am in a very bad condition, pay me some amount in money in advance. I will work and at the end of the year you can deduct it from my salary. So the amount which you pay him will be called salary paid in advance. What is this? Since you have not yet received his service and you have made a payment, so it will be considered as an asset. So this is what expenses are. The next term is the revenue. Now what revenue is? Children, revenue means the various types of money or income which you get from various other sources by selling your goods or services. Okay, so you can say that the total amount received against sale of goods and by providing various services. Like, suppose the goods which I have been selling, I deal in furniture, I have sold. So by selling it, suppose I sold a chair, one chair has been sold, and by selling it, I have earned rupees 2,500. So during the entire month, similarly, I might have sold a lot many things. So at the end of the year, the total money, or this itself is your revenue. The money which you acquire by selling your goods or you acquire by providing various types of services is considered as your revenue. There is another very similar term which we frequently use, that is income. If you will ask the difference between revenue and income, very few people will be able to tell you the difference, because most of the people use these two terms simultaneously, synonymously. For them, both the terms mean the same. But in accounting, it's quite different. In accounting, income means the excess of total revenue over total expenses. So the excess of total revenue over total expenses is called your income. For example, you have one chair and the cost price of the chair is rupees 2,000 and you sold it for rupees 2,500. So your income will be 2,500 minus 2,000, that is rupees 500. So this is your income. This is one example which I have given. In case when it happens for one particular transaction, it will be considered as profit. Obviously, this is a profit because it is happening only for one particular transaction. But when we take all the transactions together, so the total revenue which I have earned and the total amount which I have spent in order to purchase and sell goods and services, so the difference will be considered my income. So you can extract another term from here itself, that is profit. So what is profit? Profit means revenue minus expenses. Okay. Once again I repeat that when this is related to one particular transaction, like the one which I gave you the example, this is actually a profit. But similarly, there will be many profits together. So when we will add all the profits together, it will be considered as your income. And just the opposite of it is your loss. If your expenses are more than your revenue, you will incur a loss. Okay? That means if the total amount of money which you have spent is more than the total earning, it is referred as your loss. The next term which we have to discuss is the drawings. Now, children, this particular term, drawings, is what? Let us understand the meaning of the term drawings. Normally, if I ask the meaning of the drawings, it means the art which the students do. But in accounting, the term drawings is quite different. The term drawings means anything which is withdrawn by business men from the business for his or her personal use or for the use of his or her family, it will be considered as drawings. Suppose the owner has been working in the business. His son came and he wanted fee to be paid to the school. So the father withdrew my cash from the business and gave it to his son. Go and pay it in the school. So the fee which you pay out of the business will be considered as the drawings for the business, because the businessman has withdrawn it for his personal use. That was not for the purpose of the business. So that will be considered as drawings. Now children, before coming to the closer of this particular video, one of the students of class 11 asked me a question whether labor, the name of the student is Syam Pavan. He asked me a question on the channel, that is labor an asset? If not, then why? Or then what it is? Syam, you have asked a very controversial question. There has been a lot of debate on this particular term, whether labor is to be considered as an asset or it is to be considered as an expense. There are various managers who say that labor, they are those people because of whom my business has been running. My business will progress if there will be good quality of labor available in my business. So labor they take as human capital. Human capital means the people, those who have been working in your organization, they are considered as your capital. They are considered as the amount which you invest in the business, okay, because of which you are able to produce more goods. So from that point of view, you can say that labor is the asset because they help you in increasing the income and earning more and more income. But the same manager who say that it is labor is an asset for them, when they are asked that, in order to improve the quality and efficiency of the labor, they are supposed to be provided the training. But when it comes to training and expense, they say they put their leg on the back front, so back foot. So there has been a controversy over it, whether labor is to be considered as an asset or as an expense. But in my view, who are labor? Labor are those people who come and work, and for their work, what will you say? I had just given an example of Mr. X. From 1st June 2020 to 30th June 2020, he has worked in your organization. And at the end, when he comes to take money from you for the service which he has provided, because labor is the one who provides his labor to the organization. So after he has provided his labor and he comes to take remuneration at the end. So what is that remuneration called? You will pay remuneration to your people. So that comes under salary. And what is salary? That is an expense, because you are paying your employees for the service which you have already availed of. So labor in my view, must be considered as an asset, but we never show it in the balance sheet as an asset. Why? Because this is something which may increase or decrease, or there is no constant thing related to the human capital or the labor. So if they have provided the service, we pay salary, so salary is an expense. So from that point of view, if you see the labor, the service which you avail, for that the payment which you make is an expense. So from that point of view, we call it as an expense. There is no term called labor used in the business. For the labor, we pay salary. Salary is an expense. So it should be considered in accounts. When it comes to accounting the terms, it will be considered as an expense, not an asset. Children, please watch the video. Hope you will enjoy and understand the concepts and these accounting terms. Please like, share, comment, and don't forget to subscribe to Accountancy Point. Thank you.